Hey, it's Spence from LaunchFlows.com. Today we're releasing an update, version 4.1.9, that's the first step towards accommodating full site editing. Now, this is the newest thing in WordPress, coming soon to a version 6.0 near you. But right now we can play around with the 2022 theme, which isn't really terrific, to be honest, for sales funnels. There's a lot of space wasted and stuff, but it does demonstrate and give us a sandbox for showing how LaunchFlows can accommodate the same features even in a full site editing. Now, the thing to understand is the difference between traditional themes like Cadence, which we like a lot, and the full site editing is that the traditional themes have a fixed into the template content area. That means that the things that you type in your post editor, including when you put shortcodes or Gutenberg blocks, get executed at a different place. The full site editing themes, like the 2022, actually have a full site editor where the content area is a block itself. So that means there's like a space or a second step to process the things that normally occur with LaunchFlows at the level of the template. No problem. We've already accommodated this because we had to deal with this problem previously with Oxygen, which caused a lot of conversations back and forth, but thanks to a helpful fan and user of LaunchFlows, we came up with a solution. So here's what it is. The situation is when you're using full site editing, if you notice, you can go in and customize and create or use any of the existing templates. This is quite handy because it allows you to do things like styling the content area, putting borders around, really getting like a custom page layout that you can use for any checkout. When you do that, however, let's move me over a little bit. Let's put me on this sort of right here. Let's say we're editing the template for the normal pages. When I'm editing that, you'll see that when I scroll down, here is the Gutenberg block that is the content area. So we need to make sure that this is styled the way we want. In the old days, we would have to do that through something in the theme customizer and so forth. But here, we can actually customize, for example, the width of this. If we want the content area to be 1,000 pixels or 800 pixels, and so on and so forth. If we want to put other things in the layout, we can handle it here. So that's the cool part. Let's go actually see what happens though when we start with a blank page. Here I'm just making a checkout page, and as most of you know, normally a WooCommerce checkout page is done with a shortcode, and the output in this case would look something along these lines. Now, normally with LaunchFlows, all you need to do is go into the page column, enable the checkbox, and click Update. But as I explained to you, this isn't going to work in a full site editing theme like 2022. Maybe it'll work for other ones, but for 2022 it doesn't, because as I just showed you, LaunchFlows is relying upon execution of its code for this little checkbox in the template area. But there's a step now in between of a block that gets moved around. So when we refresh this page, you'll notice that the checkout does not appear. But don't worry, it's going to be fine. We've got 2 shortcodes. We've got 2 Gutenberg blocks. You don't need to worry about this for Elementor because in Elementor you won't be dealing with this problem. You have your own page layout. Here are the blocks. If you type in /start, you'll see one of them is called checkout form start. And if you do another one and type in /end, you will see checkout form end. So these are the top and bottom pieces of bread into which you want to pour the rest of the sandwich ingredients, right? So to make this easy, let's just do this. I'm going to remove the bottom one, and I'm going to essentially click here, and I'm going to use the pattern of LaunchFlows. I'm going to click and add that in. And then I'll put the bottom piece of bread back on, if you will, by typing /end. It's making me hungry. Now I'm going to click Update. Everything now will work normally. So what we need to do is refresh the page on the front end, clear the cache just to be sure, and we'll see that our custom 2-column layout with a pattern appears just fine. And here we can do all the other normal stuff we want to do. For example, if we want to move the coupon around or we want to change the billing, no big deal, right? We just move this over to here. We can even pull this out, make it full width again. And so that is how we're handling right now the full site editing. We're going to use the blocks with, notice the coupons there, with the wrappers. In the future, once the full site editing thing sort of figures itself out, it's very dynamic, I will think about whether I can make this back into being an automatic process. But since there's so many variations, I'm not going to do it yet. On that topic, there have been many of you who have used previous themes that you wanted to use the theme's ability to modify the product pages, or you wanted to use a third-party plugin or service. We did add in our last update, and I want to bring it up under this conversation, the ability for you globally to disable the LaunchFlows product layout capabilities. So just to cover that while I'm in this video, let's go over here. There's a new feature as of version 4.1.8, we're now on 4.1.9, that allows you to disable the product layout stuff. So theme compatibility, disable product layout and functionality. So if you've got some third-party plugin or a theme or otherwise that's already doing the design, this will prevent you from having any problems. You will lose the ability to use LaunchFlows for those layouts, but who cares because you're already doing it with another thing. These two updates put us well on the track of making it super simple, very lightweight for you to use virtually any component, any type of theme, and even full site editing without having to rethink everything from scratch, which is my philosophy for LaunchFlows versus how the other three big competitors do it, where they provide you all the templates and the flows and the steps and the framework. And the LaunchFlows is a utility, and this utility is something that is compatible no matter what you're using, which is, in my opinion, the way it should be. Let me know your thoughts in the comments here on the video or help@launchflows.com. If you're having any troubles with the updates, as always, send me an email, give me your site, the URL of the pages, what's wrong, and use the plugin that I've suggested. You can give me a one-time login. Almost all the time, it's just a matter of tweaking the adjustments on the settings in order to accommodate the new changes. This is Spence. I'll see you on the next video.